Cape Town was originally just where we planned to spend a few days before the next part of our African adventure. But after 6 days of hiking above the clouds, exploring wine country, traveling to the edge of the continent, meeting a few penguins, and learning more about this city's complicated history, we were already talking about coming back. We're Jay and Beans, and this is our excellent Cape Town adventure. So whether Cape Town is already on your bucket list, or you're simply looking for a beautiful place to begin your own African adventure, we're going to show you why this city deserves more than just a quick stop. One practical tip before we leave the airport: Uber was an excellent way to get around Cape Town. Cars were readily available, reasonably priced, and we used the service frequently throughout the week. At the airport, however, only book through the official app. Several people wearing Uber lanyards approached us and warned that the walk to the designated pickup area wasn't safe. We followed the app instead and found the official pickup point just a short walk away. We have arrived in South Africa. Got checked in at the Hyatt. How long was that dang flight? 14 hours?
14 hours in coach.
Yeah, so it was long and brutal. I got a little bit of sleep in. But we're here. We made it. Excited to be. This is my first time south of the equator and first time in the continent, obviously. So, how about you?
Yeah, it's exciting. I've been to Africa before.
Yeah. So the following morning, our hotel offered a free shuttle to the V&A Waterfront, where we picked up Cape Town's hop-on, hop-off red bus. For first-time visitors, it was an easy way to get our bearings and begin understanding how the city, coastline, and mountains all fit together. The V&A Waterfront is one of Cape Town's busiest and most polished visitor areas, but it is also part of a working harbor. With restaurants, shops, boat excursions, and views toward Table Mountain, it was a comfortable place to begin exploring the city. What are we doing today?
Getting ready to find the hop-on, hop-off bus. Do some hopping.
The routes connect many of Cape Town's major sites, and even without getting off every stop, the ride gave us a great introduction to the city. Of course, wherever we went that first day, Table Mountain seemed to dominate the view, and rather than simply riding the cable car to the top, we had already decided that we wanted to earn that view. We stopped at Camps Bay for lunch and spent some time walking along the beach. So we got off the red bus, hop on, hop off right here at Table Mountain. And on the other side is all Camps Beach. It's gorgeous. Great day too. Leaving Camps Bay, we completed the full loop on the red bus and returned back to the V&A Waterfront. The hop-on, hop-off ticket also includes a boat ride, so after spending some time at the seal platform, we enjoyed a short tour around the harbor. Still not overcome with jet lag, we decided to have dinner at the waterfront and had one of the best meals of our entire trip at Caribou Restaurant. We couldn't decide on what to eat, so we took our waiter Brian's suggestion of the safari platter, which included kudu, springbok, impala, ostrich, and warthog, among other delicious side dishes. Leaving the waterfront, we spent some time taking in the performance of a youth group singing and dancing. It was a great first day. After breakfast the following morning, we took on the steep hike to the summit of Table Mountain. What are you thinking there today?
I'm loving it. Nothing like a little Ezekiel bread, hummus, and better for breakfast. Well, I hope we don't need a safety hut on this trip, but we'll see.
We chose the Platteklip Gorge trailhead, the most direct and one of the most popular hiking routes to the top. Okay, so we are at the base of Table Mountain. It's 9:07. We are gonna do it the dumb way and walk to the top and take the cable car down instead of the opposite, which seems to make more sense.
Or cable car both ways.
Yeah, so should be fun. Before the hike, we had read that theft occasionally occurs on some of Table Mountain's trails. We started around 9 from the popular Platteklip Gorge trailhead, stayed aware of our surroundings, and with plenty of other hikers around, felt comfortable and safe throughout the climb. Platteklip Gorge starts along Tafelberg Road and climbs almost straight up the face of Table Mountain. It is considered the most direct route to the top, and although it does not require technical climbing, it is steep, rocky, and pretty relentless.
Morning. We are starting our walk up Table Mountain. We started at Platteklip Gorge this morning. Took an Uber there. Going to be hiking up, I think she said 2 to 3 hours, depending on
So we'll finish in 4.
depending on your athletic ability. So yeah, 4 for sure. But behind us, you can see there's Lion's Head and then the bay. It's beautiful out today. You can see some people climbing up there. A lady with a backpack and a child passed us already. There's Lion's Head and the bay.
The hike gains roughly 2,000 feet in only about a mile and a half, so this is less of a gentle mountain walk and more of a very long staircase carved into the gorge. It's only 2K. You know what 2K is?
What's 2K?
Nothing.
That's for you, Ollie.
There are no real flat sections and very little shade, but every time we stopped to catch our breath, the views over Cape Town and Tables Bay became a little more impressive. So that's Signal Hill over there in the distance. The good news was that the route was straightforward and easy to follow. The bad news is that we could see exactly how far we still had to climb.
Are we having fun yet?
I think so.
Think so?
For sure. I'll let you know if I make it.
The views are spectacular.
So that's where we're heading up to.
How are we feeling?
Tired, but we should be at least, what, 3/4 of the way up, I hope?
I think so. Got some pretty good views. Way back there. We started way down there. We're doing good.
Table Mountain may sit right beside the city, but it's still a serious mountain. The weather can change quickly, and the temperatures at the top can be dramatically cooler and windier than they are at the trailhead. After what felt like an endless series of stone steps, the gorge finally opened up, and suddenly we were standing on top of one of the most recognizable mountains in the world.
How's it feel to say you did it?
Amazing. It's beautiful up here.
Did you struggle at all on the way up?
A little.
I might have.
The climb was every bit as tough as advertised, but with Cape Town spread out beneath us and Lion's Head directly across the valley, it was also worth every step.
Yeah, it's quite the view from up here. Yeah, so that's looking down at Lion's Head, which from our hotel, which is down in the middle there somewhere, is looking up at it. So we get about 2,000 foot of vertical to walk up here. It's a good hike.
We took the cable car back down that mountain. I'm pretty sure our knees would have rebelled had we tried to hike it both ways.
Good picture of Lion's Head too, which hopefully in a couple days, if the weather cooperates, we'll be hiking up to the top of that sucker too. Should be fun.
Table Mountain may have given us the best view over Cape Town, but some of our favorite experiences were found beyond the city itself. And after earning that summit, our next adventure required considerably less climbing and included quite a bit more wine. About an hour outside of Cape Town, the Franschhoek Valley is one of South Africa's best-known wine regions, surrounded by mountains and filled with some truly beautiful estates. The Franschhoek Wine Tram offers several color-coded hop-on hop-off routes, allowing you to choose which estates to visit and how long to spend at each one. Wine tastings, food, and pairings that are generally purchased separately at the wineries.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
We are just got dropped off here in the Franschhoek, I guess this would be called the train depot.
Yes.
So we are taking the wine tram today.
Taking the red line, and it leaves in about 7 minutes.
Now, the name Wine Tram is slightly misleading. Depending on the route, part of the journey takes place aboard the actual rail tram, while the rest is handled by open-air tram buses designed to match it.
Got our glasses. We're ready.
We're ready to roll.
Yeah.
The actual rail portion on our route was fairly short, so the experience felt a little more touristy and perhaps a little more gimmicky than we expected. But that didn't keep us from having a wonderful day. The transportation was fun, the scenery is beautiful, and it gave us an easy and responsible way to visit several wineries without having to worry about driving, since our tour included transportation both to and from our hotel. Most importantly, the estates themselves were outstanding. We found beautiful grounds, relaxed tastings, and some very good South African wine.
Excited.
No worries, man. Give us more, get more of the red cherries, dark plums, and all this in the nose. Third will be, like I mentioned, my personal favorite, the Shiraz. It's 2004. As you can see, the color is quite very freaking bold, dark red one. Quite spicy, nice and pepper as well. Also food for about 12 months.
Of the Syrah, so it's also a medium bodied red wine. Very smooth, very easy to drink with a bit of a dry finish. So you get to pick up some lavender flavors, dark fruit flavors, blackberry flavors, and also some more of white peppers or also on the palate.
So we have left our second winery, on to our third, and we're gonna have lunch there. Very excited, and things are looking lovely thus far.
Been good. Train ride short, but it's effective. It gets you to the right place.
Yes, a little bumpy.
Wine Country showed us one side of the region surrounding Cape Town. Our next day trip would take us in the opposite direction, down the Cape Peninsula towards some of South Africa's most famous coastal scenery.
All right, we just started our tour for the day. It actually picked us up. That's our bus right there, I think, between our heads. I picked us up, we got on it, he started giving the spiel, and then we immediately got back off it with all the other people he already picked up since we were at the first stop where he picked us up. So we are in
Bo-Kaap.
Bo-Kaap, and where else do we go today? We go to the...
We're going to go down to the ultimate goal is the Good Hope Peninsula, Cape of Good Hope
Point, and then what's the name of the beach with the
Boulders
penguins?
Beach,
Beach,
Simon's Town, all kinds of different
so we got all
stops.
kinds of good stuff, but we are right here in, I'm going to turn around because we're in Bo-Kaap, which is kind of one of the famous areas here in Cape Town.
We had lunch here yesterday.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
So it's going to be it. It's going to be a good day.
Bo-Kaap is immediately recognizable for its brightly painted homes and cobblestone streets, but the neighborhood is far more significant than its appearance. Formerly known as the Malay Quarter, it is one of Cape Town's oldest residential neighborhoods and remains closely associated with the city's predominantly Muslim Cape Malay community. Our stop was brief, so we were only introduced to that history rather than truly exploring it, but it was one of several moments during the week that made us realize how much more there was to learn about Cape Town.
I think this is actually the first day that it's had like the tablecloth over Table Mountain. This is the side with the 12 Apostles on Camps Bay, which is the first stop of the second stop technically, but the first stop is where we got picked up for our little tour today.
From Bo-Kaap, the tour continued south along the peninsula, trading city streets for mountain roads, coastal towns, and increasingly dramatic ocean views. One of the highlights was Chapman's Peak Drive, which winds between Hout Bay and Noordhoek along the Atlantic coastline. It is widely regarded as one of the world's great scenic marine drives, and it seemed as though every curve revealed another reason to stop for a photograph. Near the southern end of the peninsula, we entered the Cape of Good Hope section of the Table Mountain National Park. Cape Point and Cape of Good Hope are nearby, but they are not exactly the same place. Cape Point is the dramatic headland with the lighthouse and elevated viewpoints, while the Cape of Good Hope marks the peninsula's southwesternmost point. Despite what many people assume, this is not the southernmost point of Africa. That distinction belongs to Cape Agulhas, more than 100 miles further east. For centuries, this coastline was an important and hazardous landmark for ships traveling between Europe and Asia. The strong winds, rough seas, and rocky shoreline also contributed to the region's long history of shipwrecks. From the rugged coastline of Cape Point, our next stop introduced us to some much smaller and considerably more entertaining local residents. Boulders Beach, near Simon's Town, is home to a breeding colony of African penguins. The colony became established in the early 1980s, and the protected boardwalks now allow visitors to observe the birds while limiting disturbance to their nesting areas. African penguins are found only along the southern African coastline, and sadly they are endangered because of threats that include declining food supplies, habitat pressures, pollution, and other human impacts. The conservation story is serious, but it is nearly impossible not to smile when watching them waddle across the beach, disappear between the boulders, and launch themselves into the water. Cape Town's mountains, coastline, and wine country would have been enough to make this a memorable visit, but some of the experience that stayed with us the most happened around a dinner table. And in Bo-Kaap, our meal at Faiz's Tea Garden gave us another opportunity to experience the Cape Malay influences that have helped shape the city's food and culture. Marco's restaurant was just a few blocks from our hotel. Known for its traditional African cuisine and live music, it's high on our recommendation list when visiting Cape Town.
Yeah, it's delicious.
We have ostrich, crocodile, and springbok smoked food. So it's like a chicken and polenta, and then what did you get?
Voodoo steak with meat, peppercorn, mushroom sauce, and some kind of heavenly bean dish.
All right.
6 days in Cape Town gave us a pretty good sense of just how much this city has to offer, from mountains and coastline to wine country, food, wildlife, and culture. But we also left with plenty unfinished. Weather kept us from hiking Lion's Head, and with limited time, we chose the Cape Peninsula tour over Robben Island, two experiences that are already high on our list for a return visit. And after coming home, Sabina and I both listened to Nelson Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom, which only made us more interested in coming back and learning more about the history behind the places we had seen. We were sad to leave Cape Town so soon, but we knew the best was yet to come.
Dear,
How you doing?
what are we doing now?
We are leaving Cape Town, heading to Johannesburg, where we will then leave for Victoria Falls. So, part 2 of the vacation underway.
From Cape Town, our African adventure continued with a retirement travelers group trip to Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, and day trips to Botswana and Zambia. John and Bev put together a wonderful experience, but because it was their group trip, we believe that's their story to tell. We've linked their video in the description so you can continue the journey through their eyes. And if traveling with a community of like-minded people sounds appealing, their channel, Facebook group, and group trips are definitely worth checking out. But as for our Cape Town story, we arrived thinking it would simply be the place where our larger African adventure began, and 6 days later, we were left knowing that we had barely scratched the surface. We still wanted to hike Lion's Head, visit Robben Island, learn more about the history, and probably return to more than a few of those wineries. Cape Town surprised us, challenged some of our assumptions, and stayed with us long after we came home. So whether it becomes the beginning of your own African adventure or the destination itself, we hope you'll give this beautiful city more than just a quick stop. Thanks for coming along with us, and be excellent to each other.